Hello, and welcome to the new studios of Cable 15 in Southfield and this edition of Spotlight on Seniors, where today we're going to take a look at happenings of interest to seniors in and around the metropolitan Detroit area. On today's show, we'll learn that Kinship Caregivers are special people. And Detective Mike Moorish tells us about hacking and cyber safety issues of interest to both seniors and the general public. We'll also drop by the Commission on Senior Activity, known as COSA, sponsored Senior Expo held in the pavilion. And we'll play a game of Family Feud at the Senior Holiday Luncheon. We have all this and more today on Spotlight on Seniors. Hello, and welcome to Spotlight on Seniors. Kinship Caregivers is the raising of children, often extended family members, by grandparents, great-grandparents, siblings, aunts, or uncles who care for extended family members and for the relative children.
They were on like autopilot. Things were okay. Raising the grandchildren wasn't exactly where they imagined they'd be at that point of their life, but things were okay. They had a good, healthy family support system. You know, they weren't able to travel the country or do things like that with their friends, but things were okay. But kinship care is in waves, and even parenting is in waves. Things are really great, and then all of a sudden, you can hear the screeching of the tires trying to stop at a light. So, you know, there are some extraordinary situations. When I had the Department of Health and Human Services come to talk to us recently, I had asked them to submit questions in advance.
Grandchildren often arrive with a variety of needs and concerns.
On the forms that I had for questions, one grandparent wrote, and this is a quote, "Our grandchildren came to our homes damaged." It was a statement. You know, and there is something called ACEs. It's a trauma course for children that have had adverse childhood experiences. I would recommend ACEs to grandparents who have a certain level in their home, especially if the children have come to them with situations that have caused their behavior to be different, or if they're struggling with different emotions and there's also another one, it's kind of like a tough love program that they offer. Some of these work for families and sometimes they don't.
Kinship Care acknowledges that educational institutions are having to initiate or revise curricula to include kinship caregiving.
The dynamics of grandparents or older adults raising children in the home is something there is no textbook or lecture at the universities about this. So they received a grant to do a documentary. There is one called Resilience. It's very good. If you haven't seen it, try to find a local community that's viewing it. But they got a grant to do one about Pontiac. So 6 grandparents raising grandchildren were among the people interviewed for the Oakland University's Resilience Project that they're doing. They've been showing little pieces of it when they show the Resilience documentary in Pontiac, but it'll be done soon, and as soon as it's done, we will have a viewing at OLSA of this. It focuses on Pontiac, you know, people who have either lived or gone to school, currently live there or work in Pontiac.
Although the information and support are as near as a telephone, it may take a little deciphering to find the correct person to talk to.
So there is hope for people who are raising children unexpectedly, especially if it's happening later in life. There is hope. There are support groups around the state of Michigan and around the country. It's really brave of anybody to pick up the phone or to walk into a building that they know that there's a support group happening for kinship care or grandparents who are raising grandchildren. And once you come one time or pick up that phone and have a conversation, I think a lot of the burden is lifted. And the level of participation for each individual will vary, but you get out of it what you want.
To find out more information about Kinship Caregivers, you can call Oakland Livingston Human Services, Lisa Grodsky, at 248-209-2721, or send an email to lisag@olhsa.org. And you may also visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/OLHSA. Hacking and cyber safety are of special importance to today's seniors, with new scams and issues occurring all of the time. Most seniors are familiar with the term internet fraud, not so much the terms hacking and phishing. But since 1990, that's not only gotten more proficient, technical, and subversive, but also much harder to identify. Now, you might think, like I did, that never in our wildest imagination would you be so gullible as to fall for a hacker's tricks, but it can happen to anyone. It happened to Detective Moorish.
I'm a detective with the Southwood Police Department, currently assigned to the Investigations Division, and I do digital forensics. So I examine cell phones and computers, cell phone tower records, things of that nature, and then also I participate and coordinate with other investigating officers when we investigate cybercrime. Well, it's happened to me. It's just part of using a computer in the, in the modern digital age. So if you're surfing the internet and, let me give you a personal example. My father-in-law was using Facebook and a Facebook ad on a computer from a computer browser, and a Facebook ad popped up, and he clicked on an ad on the right side of the Facebook page, and it redirected him to a malicious site that told him he needed to call immediately, which he did. So it's very similar in a lot of ways to what we're talking about. And then once he got them on the phone, they extorted him for money, and when he finally he refused to pay them. He said, "This doesn't sound right." They had at that point established a remote connection to his computer, and they encrypted what's called his SAM file, which means they basically locked him out of his computer and weren't going to give him the password unless unless he paid them. Thankfully, he's got a son-in-law that can help him with that. But it otherwise you would be forced to either pay them or lose all the data on your computer. So somebody is surfing the internet and they click on a link or they mistype a domain, and it pops a window up on your screen that says there's a problem with your computer, contact Microsoft. It'll change who they want you to contact, but contact Microsoft or contact us at your bank.
A combination of technologies plays an important part in this area, but not necessarily a lot of people. You might wonder why these are not easy to track and identify.
So there's a couple different technologies that are working together. You get the phone number that pops up. You're calling the phone number, which when the police go to look into comes back to nothing. And then of course they're asking you to pay them with, they're fabricating this entire story about, they're trying to take money out of your account, and don't hang up the phone because we'll just give them more time, and that's complete fabrication. That's the really nefarious part. And they come across as a trusted person trying to help them, and you called them. So psychologically something happens where you're in a position where they're going to help you and you've called to ask for help. Of course, the only reason you call them is because they illegally prompted you to call them with this false story.
Detective Moorish suggests that if anyone demands payment with a gift card, you need to stop and give pause. Don't do it. Be very careful of what you click on.
A gift card scam basically is somebody will call you usually with a made-up story or some kind of nefarious act. They want to get money from you, but they can't really give you a bank account number to transfer to, because that would be an identifying piece of information. In other words, the police after the fact would be able to go, well, who owns this bank account, and who opened this account, and show me the signature card and show me the thumbprint. There's too much there. And so gift cards are, and all kinds of gift cards, there's no one particular that's more favorable than others, kind of all of them. Once a person goes and pays for them legitimately, so if you go to, or I go to a store and we buy $100 worth of Apple ID or Apple gift cards, let's say, iTunes gift cards, When you flip it over, you can scratch off the number, and there's a long number and a PIN code there. If you, as a fraudster, are calling me on the phone, or I've called you and you're perpetrating a fraud on me, if I give you the numbers on the back of that card, you can redeem them immediately so that there's no value left on the card, and then resell those to somebody else. So they're converting basically your bank account money into hard currency through you giving them the information on the back of the card, which then reduces its value to zero when they redeem it remotely. And then they will turn around and sell that password and credentialing to somebody else for a discount to convert to real cash. So that's the method of how that works.
We all need to be aware and careful computer users because our financial well-being may be at risk. If you think that you have been approached by someone over the phone and are suspicious about their motives, call the Southfield Police at the number below. A free Senior Expo was held recently in the Southfield Pavilion. It was a way for seniors and their families to connect with dozens of organizations dedicated to helping them. The city of Southfield was represented by a number of organizations, and the CHORE program was on hand to answer questions.
The CHORE program is for low-income seniors and disabled seniors over age 62 in their home, helping them do chores, grass cutting, snow removal. I have a plumber, electrician, all kinds of little jobs that the senior can no longer do on their own. Snow removal is a tough one. It came on so quickly this year, and we haven't even gotten all the leaves up. So, hopefully the weather will change a little bit. We'll be able to do the leaves, and then we'll be prepared for the snow removal. Sometimes seniors are kind of trapped. They get misinformed about mortgages and health, and so something like this, they can come out, talk to people, and feel kind of a little bit more secure. A lot of my seniors now are getting towards that age where it's hard for them to stay in their home. And so having something like this where they might be able to get some help, maybe a few days a week, somebody coming in and just, spending a little time with them will help their family know that they're safe in their home.
And in this season of colds and flus, it was very helpful to know that Beaumont Hospital was on hand to help with health screenings and provide useful information.
The reason we're doing this is to tell people the importance of having the health screening so they can follow up with their doctor and maybe change their lives. Some people don't go to the doctors and they think that, if they don't feel good, they don't think it's important for them to go see a doctor. Some of the complications of having high blood pressure are, like you could go into a crisis, like, you could have a stroke, you could have a heart attack, and any other, complications like kidney. You might have some kidney problems with high blood pressures. So you need to see, like a medical expert. And I asked them if they go to the doctor. They said, no. I said, why don't you want to go see a doctor? I think because of insurance, or I think they just don't want to go because they don't want to know, the truth.
So these are federally funded government program phones that are available for people who have a hard time hearing on the phone.
Oh, okay.
So all that's required is that you have any degree of hearing loss. It's a federally funded government program. So all of us are helping to pay for it all the time when we pay taxes. And it's through the Americans with Disabilities Act that they provide these phones for free. So we'll just start with our most modern model, which is set up like an iPad or a cell phone, any kind of touch screen that you're accustomed to. All of the models feature built-in answering machines. All of them are 4 times louder than a regular phone. but the difference is how you get to your menu, how you access the different features. So this is a touch screen. You hit the home button, that brings back your main menu. It's going to store your calls. What's really great is all the phones, you can go back and review the conversation. So this is great for people who are taking care of someone and want to say, what did the doctor say on Monday? They can double check that.
The Jewish Federation had a table at the Expo, and Brooke Flagman, resource coordinator for J-Help, was there.
So what a resource coordinator does is a variety of things. I work in the resource center where we get a lot of different inquiries from community members. We get those inquiries by phone, by email, by chat, and we also have folks who walk right into one of our 2 offices in West Bloomfield or Oak Park and can have a one-on-one meeting with one of the resource coordinators. And we do information and referral, so we're providing information about resources within the community, and we're also doing a lot of the intake. We're doing all of the intake for the programs that we have at our agency.
The Senior Expo was a success, and those who were able to attend walked away with a wealth of useful information. To find out more about senior events and activities, make sure to check the Southfield P&R program guide and watch Cable 15 for more news and information. Southfield Parks and Recreation recently held a Thanksgiving lunch, and one of the highlights was Family Feud, Spotlight on Senior Style, where seniors provided answers to questions posed by yours truly, me, Richard Powell. We started out with a basic survey question.
So 2,000 people were surveyed. What is the least favorite Thanksgiving food? The least favorite Thanksgiving food.
Liver and onions.
You can write it down on your paper.
Well, for those of you who are interested in Mr. Steve Harvey, I'm here. Came all the way from cable channel 15 just to see you guys. And by the way, cranberry sauce, it's my favorite. It's a main dish. I've got 4 cans at home right now in the fridge getting cold because that's the only way that you can have it. Wow, Family Feud Thanksgiving luncheon. I don't know what number of Thanksgiving luncheon this is, but I'm going to call it the 2019 Thanksgiving luncheon. And welcome and glad to see you all here. Hope you brought your appetites with you. I think that you heard that there's coffee, tea, and water back there in the back. And there's us and some foolishness up here. And there's lots of smiling faces out there. I'm seeing lots of Christmassy colors already. It's that time of the year, and lots of sparkles around the necks. Well, who's ready to play this game? All it takes is a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to make it happen. Name a place that people go to which they insist must be clean. Now, you Southern mothers ought to have a real easy one here. Name a place that people go to which they insist must be clean. It's only 4 places. You had grandma's dining room table. That better be clean. Better get your homework off that table for dinner time. You're just going to get it. Name a place that people go to which they insist must be clean. I think you know the answer already. She knows the answer already. She's sitting right over there, and she's got that green top on and the pretty gold earrings. Are you ready? Ready or not, here I come. Hospital must be clean. How about the kitchen and the fridge? Must be clean. I remember spring cleaning, Mom used to call us down, and we'd have to get all the stuff out the freezer and defrost, put a pan of hot water in there to defrost the freezer, and get all the ice out of there and wash it out clean, a little ammonia and water. Yeah. How about a restaurant? A restaurant must be clean. Who is it? Andrea Isom that does that thing and goes around and rates the restaurants and the food stores and stuff? And here's the one that won. The bathroom. Everybody's head shaking up and down at that one. Yes, indeed. Yeah. The bathroom. Hi there again. This is Dick Powell, your host on Spotlight on Seniors. And myself and Mike Talley want to wish you a very happy new year. the end of the year for 2019. Thanks for watching all of the issues that we've had this year. We hope that you found something of interest, something that maybe was a little fun for you, something you'd like to know more about. Whatever the case may be, feel free to check us out on our Facebook page and leave us a comment, or give us a call at the station. The number's down below. Again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next year on Spotlight on Seniors. Bye.